Welcome to the Larks Nest as three-game series. This weekend series against the Gameday Angels almost set for first pitch here at 7 o'clock start time. I'm Nick Helge alongside Hank Corsair and Ace Newberger down to my left. We're up here in the press box once again. It's going to be a good series as two teams that are above 500 will face off.
Yeah, Gameday is coming into this one with a 5-4 record off of a 9-3 win over Denver. And the key for them staying above 500 entering this series is their batting has done really good, especially from players like Van Hodges, the leader in average with .417, who's also had 5 hits on the year. But James Harbison's been their main guy, and he'll be batting third tonight. Has picked up a team-high 7 hits and also leads the team in OPS at 1.121 and a .647 slugging percentage. But the thing that's kind of dragged them down over this season is the pitching, in which they've given up 51 hits and 34 runs through 6 games, but they have recorded 50 strikeouts, so they'll try to stay above 500 in this series.
This will be an interesting one. One for the book, I would say. I mean, last couple of series, we've seen some not-so-good teams, and then last series against the Rough Riders before the Pioneers, there were a couple of average teams and stuff. This one, they're about the same, about an average team we're going against. So the Larks have a good one to face off against. They faced off against the Pioneers on Wednesday in a doubleheader where they won in 7 innings, 11-2 on Wednesday in Game 1. And then Game 2, our first official walk-off on the year, came in extra innings in the bottom of the ninth, if you want to call that extra innings for a 7-inning ball game, by Wilbert Espinal. Some good performances. The pitching stood out, only allowed 2 earned runs in both games. And the bats, once again, were doing really well in Game 1. They took a step back in Game 2, but they got enough of the bats to work to be able to get the win. And now they're sitting pretty well in the standings right now.
Yeah, Larks enter this game with a record of 7-1, and currently, if you look at the standing, it's a neck-and-neck race between the Larks and Liberal. And you got a 3-way tie for third place with Colorado Dodge and Gameday kind of keeping it close. Could be some sneaky teams later on in the year. But for the Larks, it'll be interesting to see how they do for this final series before they go on a 7-game road trip where they'll play 6 RMBL teams. The only one they won't play is the first game of that road trip against Junction City. So it'll be a pretty interesting stretch to see.
Yeah, and there's the standings for you right there on our screen here, as it will be an interesting one with their upcoming games. They'll hit the road for a while, so this is their final homestead before that big for that big away stretch. So this will be a fun one. Last few games here at Larks Park in the month of June. Very excited here to get Game 1 underway here in this 3-game series. Thank you for joining us on the Larks Network. We'll get you guys the batting order video with all the batting order defensive alignments at tonight's starting pitcher in Dalton Campbell.
Tonight's Rocky Mountain Baseball League contest is the first of a three-game weekend series that features the Gameday Angels of Parker, Colorado, and your Hayes Larks. Tonight's game and 2 of the season, 7-1 in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. Free admission to tonight's game made possible through the generous sponsorship. Once again,
Still there. Oh, save us now.
The Larks weekend series begins here at Larks Park as we'll be facing off against the Game Day Angels as Dalton Campbell will hit the mound here for his second start on the season.
And his last one was a big one as he pitched 5 innings in that 3-0 win against, or excuse me, 4-0 win against Colorado, where he got 5 strikeouts in those 5 innings and 82 total pitches thrown.
This should be a good one. Game Day Angels come in at 5-4, while the Larks 7-1, both in conference play. The Larks are able to get their 10th overall victory on the season. And Wednesday's doubleheader against the Western Nebraska Pioneers. They look strong, even in the game where they hit a walk-off base hit to win it, thanks to Wilbert Espinal. They have the momentum, and it's time to start the weekend series here on Friday, June 21st.
And in that last series, it was really fun to watch. In that first game, they got their bats going early and just never looked back. And in that second game, they had to rely on strong pitching to help them pull it out.
And the big thing about walk-off victories, it builds character and it brings momentum and energy into the dugout. So even though it came down to the wire, it's good for these guys to go through these moments together. Really starts to build a chemistry, a bit of trust in one another as things are almost underway here for Game 1.
And batting first, or leading off for Game Day, will be Grant Biggins. The left fielder in this one has gotten 6 hits on the year. This will be his 6th game of the year.
First pitch from Campbell finds his own for the first strike of the ballgame. First pitch brought to you by Simply Order, coming in at 7:05 start time here on a 87-degree first pitch. This one fought off to the opposite side, but go out of reach of Thomas Lissy for a foul ball. Wind today blowing at about 20 miles per hour. Later on in the ball game, it'll get down to 16 miles per hour. But it will be a windy one here today. Winds blowing across from right field into the Larks dugout.
And we're at 51% humidity at first pitch, which is higher than what we've seen.
Swung on and missed by Giggins as first punch out of the ball game for Dalton Campbell coming to the first batter.
And that's his 8th of the year and the 58th for the Larks as a team.
So it brings up the 2 batter and Van Hodges, the shortstop.
Has been one of the notable batters for Game Day.
This one fought off for the first pitch here to Hodges. Defensive alignment, Gruel out in left, Baker in center, Espinal in right. Running the hot corners, Thomas Lissy at third, Gage Gilchrist at first. Running the middle, C.J. Reed at second, Tabor Stokes at short. Catching once again Houston Russell, our Gold Glove player of the week, as Campbell on the mound, who was our pitcher of the week for week 2 of this young season. It's 1 ball, 1 strike here to the 2-hitter in Hodges. This will miss outside. 2-1 count now.
This will be an interesting at bat. Hodges was one of the notable hitters for Game Day that we talked about on the pregame show. Has gotten 5 hits this year and is one of the top on-base guys for Game Day at 462.
Larks rocking their red uniform top with the white sliding pants. The white Larks across the chest as ball forward to Van Hodges will get the first base runner of the ball game over to first. Bringing up the 3 batter in James Harbison.
Another player that we mentioned has been one of the another key batter that we mentioned for Game Day on the pregame show. Has a .412 average entering this game and has picked up 7 hits on the year and is also the only Game Day player to hit a home run this year as well.
Campbell finds his own for the first strike of the at-bat here to Harbison. The Angels rocking there. Looks like their navy top with the gray sliding pants. This one swung on and missed with the navy numbering with the outline of light blue. And I believe they got the Angels across the chest, the U.S. flag on the right arm sleeve. 0-2 count for Campbell. This will miss up high. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to the 3-hole batter in James Harbison. Harbison, who plays at NJC College, pops this one up, stays in the infield. Gilchrist will run over in foul territory and makes the catch running in for the second out of the ball game. Nice running grab by Gilchrist as the wind kept taking it away from him. So now that brings us the cleanup batter and Brady Ingles.
And it was a great catch there by Gilchrist. Not only is the wind playing a factor, but we still got the sun out, and he had to really try to track that one down.
So 2 outs now as Brady Ingles up to bat, the first baseman. Runner at first still in Hodges. Force at first and second here with 2 away. Middle infield playing near the second base bag. The 1-0 swung on and missed by Ingles. Count moves to 1 apiece. Dalton Campbell throws a fastball, slider, and changeup. Be a future Texas Tech baseball player. Spent his time over at Hill Community College this year. This one fought off, fouled out of play behind us as Campbell gets ahead in the count 1-2.
And that's a big honor for him, as a lot of Big 12 fans, especially since Kansas is known as Big 12 country. Texas Tech has been a team that's been pretty good at the Division I level, where they've had a few top 25 finishes in the last few years.
On the move to second base is Hodges. The throw down from Russell. That a good throw, but under the tag is Hodges as he'll swipe a base. That one was a good throw on the money, but Hodges might have just got a hand underneath as he'll swipe second. C.J. Reed holding the runner on at second. This one popped out of play. Houston Russell tonight. He's got a couple of scouts here at the ball game in Purdue and Murray State. They are coming to watch him tonight. He's also the beverage batter as well. And that was even though he was safe, that was still a really good throw down to second base. As next pitch swung on a miss, Campbell gets his second punch out of the day. And the Larks leave a runner stranded at second base. To the bottom of the first we go here in Game 1. There's your batting order for tonight's game. Trent Baker lead us off. Caden Ashton second. Garrett Gruhl third. Cleanup batter Wilbert Espinal. 8th Street liquor batter Houston Russell. Gage Gilchrist. Tabor Stokes. Thomas Lissy, who was our hitter of the week. And our 9-hole batter C.J. Reed. As Trent Baker will start us off here in the bottom of the first to face off against the right-handed thrower in Noah Soper. Ground ball to the third baseman. A nice stop by Goldie, Peter Goldie. 2 Goldies on the field tonight. He'll get the first out of the game for the pitcher in Noah Soper.
Goldie had to dive on the ground to secure the ball, but was able to get back up right away and get the first out to Ingalls at first base.
Caden Ashton now up to bat, the designated hitter for tonight.
Ashton saw action in both of the games against Western Nebraska, going 1 for 5 in each, and had a single and a run in each of those.
Ashton, who's been having a standout season so far for the Larks in his first 7 games. He's on a 7-game hitting streak. As next pitch from Soper, outside, 1-1 count. He's gotten a hit in every game so far in conference play. It's been a great addition in the outfield as well. Conference play tonight here in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. 2 teams above 500, one that finds himself in first place, while the Gameday Angels find themselves in the middle of the pack in the 8-team standings. Three balls, 1 strike. Here for Noah Soper, the pitcher for the Angels. To the left side it goes. Shortstop will backhand it, and Hodges on the first, but not in time. As able to leg out a single is Caden Ashton. He'll extend his hit streak to 8 games.
And we've seen a lot from him this year, and that's something you got to appreciate with him as a player, is that no matter what, he's going to sprint to first base.
So the first base hit of the ball game for the Larks come in the bottom of the first hit of the entire game. So now that brings up Garrett Gruhl, who's been another hot bat.
Yeah, had a big second game for the Larks where he went 3 for 4 against Western Nebraska. All of his hits were singles, and he actually got on base a 4th time through an intentional walk.
He'll put this one in play in a shallow center field. Harbison runs in a little for out number 2. Ashton remains at first, and that brings us to the cleanup batter and Wilbert Espinal, the right fielder.
The hero from last game went 2 for 5 in the second game of that doubleheader where he had 2 singles plus the RBI, which was the walk-off winner.
Yeah, the hero of Wednesday's game 2. Talked with him after the game a little, and he said he was more worried about if the ball was going to get past the left fielder's head. As this one will get past the catcher and Rodriguez to go to the backstop. Ashton around second is going to head to third, and no throw needed as Caden Ashton will move to third base on the pass ball. Now 90 feet away from the Larks' first run coming around to score. Good base running on Caden Ashton's part. Espinal with an RBI spot here in the bottom of the first. Pitch from Soper. This one will be put into play and up the middle infield to the second baseman. On to first for the third out. The Larks going to run into third, but will leave him stranded as we are through an inning of baseball here in Hayes, America. To the second inning we go. There's your Larks pitching tracker brought to you by Hayes Med. All those guys pitched in Wednesday's doubleheader. As Dalton Campbell back on the mound for the second inning of work, the Game Day Angels able to not allow an earned run in the bottom of the first to the Larks, first time in the last couple of games. First pitch here to Cliff Goldie. Two Goldies in the lineup. Cliff over in right field and Peter Goldie over at third.
Enters this game with a .267 average and has crossed the plate 3 times, but he's a player that you're going to watch if he ends up getting on base tonight, as he's got 4 stolen bases on the year, which is half of what Game Day has so far.
As Campbell finds himself in an 0-2 count once again. This one fought off out of play here to Cliff Goldie. A 1.12 ERA on the season for Campbell through the 8 innings of work. Only has allowed 1 earned run so far. Slider that misses outside the zone. First ball of the at-bat here to Goldie.
And Campbell's done really well against batters this year, as a 179 opponent batting average entering this game as well.
Campbell shakes off the sign, figures out what pitch he wants, and that'll miss just a hair high. The 2-2 from Campbell. This one just misses, ends a little inside and down low here to Goldie. Full count with nobody on, nobody out here in the top of the second. And that'll miss outside for ball 4. The first batter of the second will head down to first base. It'll bring us to the catcher and Julian Rodriguez.
One of the notable batters for Game Day so far this year, 300 average on the year.
So Campbell will have to work with the runner on first here in the second inning. To the right side and through the hole, as that will be a base hit and the first base hit of the ball game for the Game Day Angels. As now runners at first and second with nobody out. Bringing up the DH and Owen Best. Lefty versus lefty here. Campbell will step off the mound. Gilchrist not holding the runner on at first. Shortstop and Stokes playing near the second base bag. C.J. Reed away from it with the left-handed batter up. First pitch missing up high. Houston Russell take things over to the mound, talk things over to Dalton Campbell. Campbell, who was our pitcher of the week last week, and well-deserved. 5 innings of work, no earned runs in the win versus the Rough Riders, with 5 strikeouts. And even the week before that, in the 3 innings he worked, he also did really well. He allowed 1 earned run. He could have possibly won back-to-back weeks, as the Larks pitchers this year have just been doing really well all around.
Yeah, it's been really impressive through 8 games of league play. They've only given up 16 earned runs as a team and have held their opponents to just 40 hits in those games, so averaging just 5 hits allowed per game.
Campbell finds the inside part of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Owen Best, the DH. Attended St. John's University, senior year for him. 1-1 outside corner, finds it as Campbell back in the count, 1-2. Back-to-back strikes puts him back ahead in the count. Here with 1 ball and 2 strikes as Campbell looking for a possible punch out or even a ground ball double play. Here with no outs. This one swung on a miss, chasing at the slider outside the zone. 3rd K on the day as now 1 away.
He's gotten all 3 of his strikeouts today swinging against Game Day, and now he's at 10 on the year and 60 for the Larks as a team.
And that was a good slider. It started out down the middle and then just broke all the way to the outside part of the plate, as Best was not able to catch up with that one. As that brings us to Peter Goldie, the 3rd baseman. This one will run and go behind him and actually will hit him as now the bases will be juiced here with 1 out.
The second baseman, number 31, Cale Porter.
9-hole batter in Cale Porter, the second baseman. RBI spot here for him. Righty versus lefty. First pitch finds the lower part of the zone for the first strike of the at-bat. Cale Porter, infielder, listed as he attended CSUP University. Junior year for him. So he'll put this one in play. A fly ball out to shallow right. Espinal will run in a bit. Gilchrist making the run for it, and they'll collide. Espinal makes the catch. The throw in, no runners were on the move as Gilchrist and Espinal collided out there in foul territory, but they're both look like they're okay as Espinal makes the grab for the second out.
A little too close there for Cliff Goldie on third base to try and go home. It looked like it was going to go a little ways, but it came back in a little bit, especially with the wind playing a factor.
Yeah, the wind was at 20 miles per hour on first pitch. So that brings us back to the top of the order, and Grant Biggins, the left fielder.
Struck out swinging on 3 straight strikes in his first at-bat.
First pitch slider finds the zone. Second pitch will miss outside to even the count at 1 apiece. Grant Biggins, who attended Augustana College, senior year. One swung on a miss. Looked like another slider. Campbell going to the slider really early in the count as he's ahead 1-2 once again. Bases loaded. Force it any bag. Defense playing back with 2 outs. This one fought off by Biggins to stay alive. The 1-2 swung on a miss. Strike 3. Back-to-back innings with 2 punch-outs in each inning as he'll leave the bases loaded and work with runners in scoring position and leave the Angels blank as the Larks bats look to get things going as this one's all even up at 0 apiece. Houston Russell to lead us off, tonight's 8th Street Liquor batter. As Noah Soper back to the mound for his second inning of work, left a Lark stranded at third. That man being Caden Ashton, as first pitch to Russell will find the zone for the first strike of the at-bat.
Houston Russell went 2 for 4 in both games. He played in both games with a doubleheader and got 2 singles in each of those and scored a run and 2 RBIs in the first one as well.
The 0-1 here to Russell, fouled off and back. Count moves to 0-2. Houston Russell batting .500 on the year. 11 hits and 22 at-bats. It's also worked out 3 walks as well as he'll slap this one into right field. The right fielder will move to his left a bit, and Goldie for the first out here in the bottom of the second. Bringing us to the first baseman, and Gage Gilchrist, the new Bronco, as he'll become a part of the Central Oklahoma University squad next year. Just 1 9-inning game tonight. No doubleheader like Wednesday. As first pitch to Gilchrist will find the outside corner. Next pitch to Gilchrist, fouled back. Count moves to 0-2. Gilchrist, who's worked a walk in 3 of his 6 games played this year. Had a walk in Wednesday's game, too. The 0-2 down the turf. One ball, 2 strikes here to Gage Gilchrist. This one put right back to the pitcher, and Soper, he'll run over and underhand toss it to first for the second out. Bringing us to the shortstop, Tabor Stokes now, as he'll bat with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second.
Tabor Stokes batting .346 on the year, and has picked up 6 runs and 9 hits, as this will be his 9th game of league play.
First pitch is Stokes outside the zone for the first ball of the at-bat. Reached base in 4 games straight, 6 RBIs over his last 4 games, including 2 doubles. Upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes, as Soper wanted the call, but not given. Some of the big lineup changes tonight, in Gruel batting third. Caleb Duncan will get the day's rest as the new outfield for the Larks goes Gruel in left, Baker in center, Espinal in right. The major difference in the infield tonight is Gage Gilchrist. He'll be back over at first base. Bottom half of the order just changing up a little bit. Stokes and Lissy will flip around in the order. Gilchrist moves up to the 6th spot. Russell is still around the 5 spot, and Espinal, Ashton, Baker, who all find themselves in the 1, 2, and 4 spot as well. As this will be ball 4 to Stokes, and he'll reach base for his 5th game in a row. So that brings up the hitter of the week in Thomas Lissy. We got to talk with him before the game tonight, as his player interview will be played during the middle of the 4th. Well-deserved hitter of the week, where he went 7 for 9 in week 2 of the season. Looks to continue that hot streak here in this series against the Gameday Angels, as that will miss outside the zone for the first ball to Thomas Lissy.
He's been very successful so far with the Larks this year with his bats. Top 4 in batting average at .429, and has gotten 9 hits so far this year.
Stokes over at first. This pitch will find the zone to Lissy as the count moves to 1-1. Stokes has came around to score 6 times, as you said. 3 for 4 on stolen base attempts this year. Pickoff throw, back in time safely is Stokes. Thomas Lissie, who's also reached base in 4 games straight as well. 3 of his last 4 games being multi-hit games, as this will miss up high. 2 balls and 1 strike here to Thomas Lissie. Second baseman playing on the edge of the turf and grass over at second. Stokes on the move to second. The throw down from Rodriguez. That throw is on time and on the money for the 3rd out, as Lissie will come up to bat in the bottom of the 3rd still, as Stokes will get caught stealing to end the 2nd. Dalton Campbell back to the mound here in the top of the 3rd. 0-0 ball game, as the Angels have been able to not allow the Larks to score early. This is one of the few times we've seen this happen this year, as they'll bring up Van Hodges, James Arbison on deck, and Brady Ingles in the hole.
And it was going to be kind of a mystery for the Larks batting entering this game.
It's ball put in the plate. Lissie will take it away from Stokes, fires it on to first. The running throw in time for the 1st out here in the top of the 3rd. As now that brings up James Arbison, the center fielder.
Adding on to what I was saying, though, it was going to be a mystery for the Larks on the batting side of things, because the pitcher for Game Day, Noah Soper, has no reported stats that we could find for Game Day this year.
Righty versus lefty here, with Campbell being the lefty on the mound. First pitch swung on and missed by Harbison. Big thing about that ground ball play that I love is some people will think that's, selfish ball. However, that is the right play to make. Thomas Lissie, whose momentum is already going to the bag, as this one fouled near Lissie. But that play right there is perfect and the exact play you want to see out of a college athlete, as with the ball to his left, his momentum's already going towards first base. Stokes, who is going to his right a bit, takes his momentum away, and it's a more off-balance throw. So good job by Thomas Lissie taking charge there, as this one fouled off of Houston Russell's mask, as count is 0-2 here in Campbell's favor. Missing up high for the first ball of the at-bat here to Harbison.
The 2-strike count so far has been an advantage for Campbell in this game. He's gotten an out every time that he's gotten 2 strikes against Game Day's batters.
We love that stat line, as 2 balls, 2 strikes here with 1 away. Defense playing back a little. Another one fouled off by Harbison, as he's staying alive and working the count against Campbell. Russell will walk the ball back to the mound to Campbell here, as our umpire gets some more balls from our ball boy tonight. Shout out to our ball boys. We appreciate you guys' help. Blue skies, a couple of clouds up looming in the air tonight. No rain projected, as let's go. I mean, we've had to deal with a lot of rain this year in the month of June. It's back to the batter's box. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Looks like a changeup, just missing the outside part of the plate as count moves to full here with 1 away. And that will be ball 4 as Harbison will head down to first base with the walk. As a cleanup batter, and Brady Ingles will come up to bat for his second time.
Had a strikeout swinging on his first at bat, which was the last out of the first inning on a 2-2 count, which was also a 6-pitch at bat.
First pitch from Campbell looked like a changeup, just missing down below the knees. Next pitch, good pitch, swung on and missed for the first strike of the at-bat. Here to Brady Ingles.
Got him a little bit low and outside on that last pitch.
Pauses on the way up as that one will be outside, ball 2. We see pitchers starting to do that a lot more this day as it messes with the batter's rhythm. They'll come up for their delivery, pause, and then fire in. Then sometimes they'll do a quick pitch to catch him off guard right after. As swung on and missed by Ingles, count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Another thing with that style of pitching is it kind of the runner kind of second guesses himself if he wants to try and steal.
Ground ball hit to Saber Stokes. Underhand toss to second on the first. Double play. 6-4-3 double play ends the top of the third. As Campbell again works with runners on bases, and he does the job as this one still notched up at 0 apiece. There's your Rocky Mountain Baseball League Conference standings as the Larks currently in first place while the Gameday Angels are tied for third with the Rough Riders and the Athletics all set at 5-4 in conference play. All 3 of those teams 2.5 games back behind the Larks. As Thomas Lissy will come back up to bat here as got caught stealing on the base path was a Lark player to end the second inning. So Lissy will continue the at-bat, but this time with no counts on or no balls or strikes on the board. As this one's popped up, he'll get in the foul territory, running over as a third baseman, and Peter Goldie, he'll make the catch for the first out. Bring up the 9-hole batter, C.J. Reed, the second baseman.
Reed went 1 for 2 in that first game against Western Nebraska in the last series. He picked up 2 walks in that game and had a single and a run, but also an RBI as well.
It's middle infield, playing on the edge of the turf and grass. Once again, C.J. Reed showing bunt, but he'll pull back and wants that for the first ball of the at-bat. Yeah, C.J. Reed, he's reached base in 4 of his 5 games, most of those being walks, as he's worked 6 walks on the year, has an on-base percentage of .350.
That's where the Larks have kind of gotten creative in ways to get on base, getting 46 walks in 8 league games entering this game.
A really cool stat line is everyone in the starting lineup, I believe I'm correct on this, has stolen a base this year. The Larks aren't stealing bases at the alarming rate as we saw last year, but they're still stealing bases at a above average rate.
Yeah, they've gotten 27 on the year entering this game.
Next pitch to Reed, thrown out to shallow left field near the foul line. Running over his left fielder and Biggins as he'll make the catch in the foul warning track area for the second out. Bring me that money, top of the order. Up and Trent Baker now as he'll make his second at-bat on the day. Trent Baker, who came into the ballpark today with style, was wearing the celebration home run hat, the cowboy American hat, and he was holding the little horse they ride after they hit the home run they run back to the dugout with. Pitch from Soper, put in the play. The shortstop again from Trent Baker as the throw over in time for the third out. The Larks will go 1, 2, 3, but to the top of the fourth we go. We'll see if Dalton Campbell will come back to the mound for his fourth inning of work, as this one still 0-0 here at Larks Park. Dalton Campbell will go back to the mound here in the top of the fourth as 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Angels after Brady Ingles grounded into that inning-ending double play. His first pitch put into play into center field. Baker will run in. Tabor Stokes running for it as well. Baker, what a sliding grab out in shallow left field. As that ball kept trailing away, it was towards center field, and then it just kept carrying. And Baker, who calls off the left fielder and shortstop to make the running catch.
Yeah, that's another thing that makes it a tough play to make. Gruel and Stokes were both able to get there as well, so a little bit of miscommunication, but at the very last second, Baker was able to wave and say, "I got this," and he made a diving catch.
And on windy days like today, communication comes very big into play. As first pitch from Campbell will find the zone here to Julian Rodriguez for his second at-bat. Got the first base hit of the ballgame for the Angels. So he'll throw this one into center field. Baker will not have to run as far for this one as he'll catch this one for the second out.
So 3 pitches and 2 outs right away, both from Trent Baker on flyouts.
Yeah, DH and Owen Best up to bat now, number 27.
Struck out swinging on a 1-2 count, which was the first out of that second inning.
His first pitch, missing the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Owen Best. This one slider swung on and missed as Camel had the count 1-2.
And this is the second time Owen Best has been dealt with a 1-2 count in this game, and he struck out swinging last time.
Good spot from Camel, just missing the zone. This count moves even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Shout out to our home plate umpire and Anthony Perez and our first base umpire and Randy Jordan for tonight's game. It's another slider, but this one misses the zone. Good locations on those last 2 pitches, just missing the zone.
Yeah, I've noticed the umpire is getting his strike zone a little bit on the outside.
Has swung on a miss, applying the tag is Houston Russell for the 3rd out and 5th punch out on the day for Dalton Camel. A 1-2-3 for the Larks. To the bottom of the 4th we go. We're at the halfway mark and not even at the hour mark here in Game 1. Larks Trivia brought to you by Northwestern Printers. We thank you guys for playing our little trivia game with us. As the bottom of the 4th at the halfway mark in this one, as Caden Ashton will get us started here in the bottom of the 4th. Garrett Gruhl on deck, Wilbert Espinal in the hole. Noah Soper back to the mound for his 4th inning of work as he'll find the strike zone here to Caden Ashton.
Ashton has the first and only single of the game for the Larks so far, after he got on a 3-1 count where he would get to first, but his highlight play of his base running was when he got to second on a pass ball and then was quickly able to get to third.
Caden Ashton is an all-round tool. We saw him in Wednesday's game make a game-saving throw from the left field corner into second base, as that throw was alone the highlight of the game. I mean, a beautiful throw, 1 hop to C.J. Reed at second base, who was able to apply the tag to get the runner out. And that run could have possibly came around to score and gave the Pioneers the win.
Yeah, it gave a lot of momentum, not just to the Larks, but the fans who, got to give credit to them. A lot of them came out for that game, though it was a little later than Larks games usually go.
That one ended around about 10:30, 10:45, somewhere in there, as a 2-2 pitch to Ashton will be slapped opposite field and out of play. Both sides with only 1 hit through almost 4 innings complete. This one slapped to left side, second base of the ball game, coming from Caden Ashton once again, as he will get on for his 2nd time today. Great opposite field hitting from Ashton with 2 strikes on the count, able to just put it in the left field.
The left fielder, number 22, Garrett Gruhl.
Gotta love situational hitting, especially with a 2-strike count. Just trying to find anything off, stay alive. And he's able to throw something in the left field. So a great job by Caden Ashton, as now nobody on here with no outs. Gruel will send a towering fly ball out to left field. The wind blowing from right to left. This will stay in the ballpark and into the glove of Biggins. That brings up the cleanup batter and Wilbert Espinal. Ashton, who's 4 for 4 on stolen base and stolen base attempts this year. Pick-off throw over, not in time. Ashton has already extended his hit streak to 8 games now. He's gotten a hit in every conference game so far this year for the Larks. Another pick-off throw back in time safely is Caden Ashton.
You got to wonder if the pitcher noticed on Ashton's last time getting on base where he was able to make it to third on a pass ball.
The delay steal attempt to throw down in time as Ashton will get thrown out for the second out here in the bottom of the 4th. Delayed steal attempt almost worked, but Rodriguez was just able to read it in time and throw it down.
And that's what I was about to say. I was wondering if the Angels were trying to watch Ashton a little closer because of the pass ball where he made it to third base.
A bouncy chopper that messes with the second baseman and Porter as Espinal will leg it out, and that will be ruled an E4. And the bottom of the 4th will continue here with 2 outs. First error of the series coming from the second base side for the Angels, as now that brings up the Beverage batter and Houston Russell. Our production guy and Ace Newberger, his family is the host family for Houston Russell. As they come to every game and those loud cheers you hear, that's from them as they love to support Houston. His first pitch to Russell here finds a zone for the first strike of the at-bat. Second at-bat on the day for Houston Russell. Inside part of the zone, catches it. 0-2 count now here to the catcher and Houston Russell. One of the top hitters on the team and one of the most all-around players on the move to second base is Espinal, as that one's in the dirt. As Espinal, with no throw needed, he'll swipe second here with 2 away.
5th stolen base for him on the year, which now puts him in second just behind Houston Russell.
As Rodriguez will talk things over with Soper now. Got to be careful with Houston Russell, the 500 hitter coming into today's contest, but also has 6 RBIs on the year, so this is a perfect spot for him. The 1-2 pitch from Soper. This one fought off and fouled away for Houston Russell. He'll stay alive. As we said earlier in the ball game, Houston Russell has got a couple of scouts here today watching him. Purdue and Murray State.
And it's another Larks player that's getting looked at by 2 college teams that are basically trying to take that extra step. Both Purdue and Murray State made it to their conference tournaments, but were quick out. So as they look to build on that, especially Murray State, a little bit of a tough draw going up against the top team in their conference, Indiana State.
The 2-2 pitch. This one put up the middle. Has a chance to get through. Diving effort from Porter. The throw to first in time. Porter makes up for the E4. Just a play ago to Espinal with a diving effort for the 3rd out. As we're through 4 complete. Still no runs on the board as we'll head to the 5th inning. Top of the fifth here as Dolan Campbell heads to the mound. In the middle of the fifth, we'll play you guys our interview with Thomas Lissy we had before the game tonight. As Campbell will go for his fifth inning of work, as he's been doing a good job, especially with runners on base.
Yeah, he's gotten 5 strikeouts so far on 61 pitches and has gotten a lot of help from his defense, but you got to wonder how much time he has left, especially what we've seen over these last few games where the Larks have made their starting pitchers only go for like 4 or 5 innings.
This one fouled off. Count moves to 1 apiece. The most pitches thrown this year so far was by, I believe, Blake Lembeck, off the top of my head. It was around 80 pitches. That's the most we've seen so far from any pitcher, was around the 80 pitch mark. It's the 1-1 pitch, hits the third baseman Lissy, who tries to take a couple steps back to field it. They'll go under the glove. They'll rule this a base hit, as it was a hard hit ground ball. So the second base hit of the ball game will come to Peter Goldie.
That's his second time getting on tonight after getting hit by a pitch on his first at bat in the second inning.
So Campbell will work with the runner on base again, but will face off against the 9-hole batter in Cale Portner. This one will go to the backstop as Goldie will steal second. He'll round third, but he'll round second and put the brakes on. So he'll advance on the wild pitch. Double play possibility is now gone. Lights are now on here at Larks Park. Good showing tonight for Friday night baseball here in Hayes. This one will be laid down, a bunt. Campbell will run over, will pick it up, fire it, no throw to first. He'll pump fake, as that will be a bunt single for the 9-hole batter in Cale Portner.
It was going to be a tough play to make there, but the problem was he didn't have anybody there.
Yeah, first baseman came in to try to field it, and Reed, who was already over at second holding the runner on, made it a bit difficult to get someone over there in time. But now it brings us to the top of the order, and Grant Biggins.
And another time the Larks have, the Angels have gotten a player in scoring position, but the Larks have been in this situation so far tonight. The Angels have had 3 players reach scoring position, and the Larks have been able to leave them stranded throughout the entire game.
First pitch outside part of the plate, ruled a ball. Double play possibility is in effect now with the runner at first. He could be on the move, though, with the runner at third. Outside corner finds it for Campbell. Count moves to 1 apiece. Lefty versus lefty matchup. Camel versus Porter. Pickoff throw as almost caught him napping over at first was Porter, but he'll slide back safely. His correction, Biggins is up to bat. Camel versus Biggins here in the top of the 5th. 0-0 ball game. 3 hits for the Angels, 2 for the Larks. Another pickoff throw over to first. Reading a left-handed pitcher's pickoff move is probably one of the most difficult things to do as a base runner. It's all about watching that front leg, as that one will be fouled back in, or go foul into the Larks dugout. Larks do have a pitcher warming up at the moment. Looks like Kevin Goss. Or actually, no, he was just standing back there. Right-handed arm warming up at the moment.
You can also see Logan LaPierre. I saw Logan LaPierre in there before this inning started.
It's 1-2 count now in Camel's favor. Biggins, who struck out swinging in back-to-back at-bats. Next one put into play. This will score a run. Stokes will go the long way to first, and unable to dig it out is Gilchrist. Advancing to third base now is Porter, as the first run of the ball game comes, and the Angels will take a 1-0 lead. So runners at the corner again, as that brings up Van Hodges. Biggins over at first, Porter at third. Still no outs here in the top of the 5th.
Van Hodges so far.
As Keith Harper will head out to the mound to talk things over with Camel, as we'll take a short break here on the Larks Network. Mound visit is now over, as we'll get back into action here as Van Hodges up to bat. Camel still in the ball game. Double play possibility with a runner at first. Runner at third, though, as this one down low in the turf for the first ball of the at-bat to Hodges. Hodges, who attended UCCS College this year. Junior season for him. Outside and up high. 2 balls, no strikes. Middle infield playing near the second base bag. Anticipation of that double play or possible steal attempt. Next one swung on and missed. 2 balls and 1 strike. Hodges will foul this one off. Our camera looks like it's okay. That's good, as 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's Campbell back into the count.
An advantage for him right here. I mentioned this a little bit ago. He's done really well with two strikes in his favor so far.
Beautiful pitch there, but just outside as count moves to full. Still nobody out with Biggins at first and Porter at third. This one hit, line drive to Stokes, makes a catch, fires to the first, in time for the double play as the runner at first, and Biggins was already heading to second, and Stokes takes advantage of it. Line drive to Stokes, throws it to first, double play, and now the Larks are sitting in a better position now with 2 outs.
Perfect play there for Tabor Stokes. I think he actually caught Grant Biggins at first base off guard. You saw him start to take off, and then I don't think he expected it to get caught.
Another line drive into the glove of Thomas Lissy. The Larks will escape the jam with only 1 run allowed, as we'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Larks trailing this one by 1. Hayes Larks player interview brought to you by 9th Street Diner. I'm up in the press box with this week's hitter of the week and Thomas Lissy. Thomas, thank you for coming up here today. I mean, last week you batted 7 for 9 in your 9 at-bats. What were you seeing well out of the pitcher's hand?
Thanks for having me. I mean, really, I just always look to hit a fastball early in the count. And whenever I'm getting those, I'm putting a good swing on the ball. I feel like that's what's helping this past week and hopefully so forth in the season.
Now, you've gone from Texas to Kansas. What would you say is the biggest difference between the big state of Texas and little Kansas?
I mean, honestly, Texas, you have highways going 75 and everything. And, I mean, in Hayes, everything's 30 miles an hour, so it's a lot slower. But I love it here, and I love the food, and I love the environment.
Awesome. And last question. If you were in a zombie apocalypse and you were stuck with the Larks players, what 3 Larks would you choose to be with you?
Oh, man. I think I got to go Will Karp as my 1. Man, maybe Houston Russell as my 2. And then definitely Wilby for the muscle.
Awesome. Thank you, Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Thomas Lissy for that amazing interview before tonight's game, as that was probably one of my more fun interviews we had this year with some of the guys, as he was a very funny guy, had a good time up here in the press box. As to lead us off, Gage Gilchrist, Tabor Stokes on deck, and Thomas Lissy in the hole. That one finding the zone, as Gilchrist will be down here in the count 0-2. Noah Soper back on the mound for his 5th inning. Good eye by Gilchrist. Two of his 4 base hits on the year have been for extra bases, as this will miss outside. 7th game played this year. Making his 20th at-bat on the year. That's if he doesn't get walked or hit by a pitch, as this will be outside, and he's back in the count after being down 0-2 to battle back to 3-2. Full count, nobody on here to the first baseman, Gage Gilchrist. Good eye by Gilchrist to come back in the count and work out a walk, as the leadoff batter will get on base, tying run at first, as that brings up Tabor Stokes.
Tabor Stokes got on in the 2nd inning on 4 straight balls, but will be left there for the rest of that inning.
5th walk on the season for Gage Gilchrist. Stokes shows bunt. He'll pull back in time. Gilchrist, who has 1 stolen base on 1 attempt this year. Third baseman and Peter Goldie playing in on the left side over at third base. First baseman and Ingalls holding the runner on at first. This pitch will find the zone here to Stokes. His count moves to 1 even. Stokes had his 6th walk on the year back in his last at-bat. Shows bunt again. Will pop this one up, though. Pitcher will run over. Actually, catcher will take it away from him and make the catch for the first out here in the bottom of the 5th. So that brings up Thomas Lissy, who we just showed you guys that interview with. Well-deserved hitter of the week last week. Out of University of Houston, played down in Texas this year in the Big 12 Conference. First pitch to Thomas here will miss outside.
He's done great so far, and wasn't able to get on with a hit, but the Larks in the first game against Western Nebraska were able to get kind of creative and just take what the Pioneers gave them, as Lissy scored a run in that first game and got on through 2 walks as well.
Lissy will watch that one go into the turf as 2 balls, no strikes as he's heading the count. First strike of the at-bat to Lissy here. Got to give it to Soper. He's been doing pretty solid over these last 4 innings, only allowing 2 base hits.
And I've said this already, and I'll say it again, and it was a player that we weren't so certain about because we don't have any stats or info on him, so it was going to be a mystery to see how he played or how he approached this game.
The good thing for the Larks, though, is that they haven't struck out against him yet. They put the ball in play in every at-bat. Besides the walks, obviously, as that one will miss down low and inside. Full count here with 1 out. Gilchrist still over at first.
And that was just the 60th pitch thrown by Soper tonight.
Not too bad of pitch count for the 5th inning, as Lissy will call time. Lissy also has 5 walks on the year. The full count pitch. This one catches the inside part of the zone for strike 3, as 2 outs now here in the bottom of the 5th. I think we might have jinxed him on that one. We talked about Soper not having a strikeout, but he gets his first punch out on the day, as now C.J. Reed, the 9-hole batter, will come up to bat. First pitch breaking ball to Reed, catches the zone. Sixth game played this year in conference play. Shout out to our game day sponsors today in Messiah Lutheran Church, I Smile Vision and Dental, and Insurance Planning. The 1-1 pitch to Reed, swung on and miss. Count moves to 1-2. The 1-2, Reed will slap this one out of play and stay alive here with 1 ball and 2 strikes. Son of Angela and Bert. Has 1 brother. His name is Cruz, and 1 sister named Brianna. The 1-2 pitch to Reed. Another one fouled off the Angel dugout. Played at Butler Community College this year. Played high school ball at Pine Creek. It's the 1-2 once again to Reed. This one will be missed up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big thing that stands out to me for C.J. Reed is his plate discipline. And we're seeing it here with 2 strikes, as that one not too far outside the zone, but good eye on his part to let it go, as he'll poke this one to first baseman and Ingalls, who will step on first for the 3rd out, as the Larks get a base runner on thanks to Gage Gilchrist, but that's all she wrote as the Angels still lead this one through 5, 1-0. We're at the hour and 15 mark here as we're through 5 innings. Top of the 6 underway. As Campbell back to the mound for his 6th inning of work, trying to get to 6. As Brady Ingles, who made the last out in the bottom of the 5th, will start us off.
And Ingles still 0 for 2 on the day so far. Struck out on swinging on a 2-2 count at the end of the 1st inning, and was also the last out of the 3rd inning on the 6-4-3 double play.
Swung on and miss, 0-2 count now. Slider that drops down into the turf. First ball of the at-bat here to Brady Ingles. Two balls, 2 strikes now after that one runs up and high. Sophomore pitcher, left-handed thrower. 6'2", 175 pounds, and you'll get a punch out here. Caught looking, his first caught looking on the day as he is racking them up.
Yeah, threw it a little bit high there, but it was a breaking ball that he was able to bring back down and get right into the zone.
6 punch outs on the day for Dalton Campbell as he's been having a solid day on the mound in his 2nd start on the year for the Larks, as this one fouled out of play. 2nd start in conference play, that is. All of our stats are based off the conference play this year, not overall, unfortunately. Slider misses down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. A big thing that stood out to me for Dalton Campbell coming into this season for the Larks during his time at Hill Community College, he always says he made 1 start, but Campbell Baseball, if you guys are watching, we got your guys' message. He's made more starts than that. He almost started every Saturday. But he was first on the team in strikeouts, 2nd in most innings pitched. Pitched over 5 innings in 6 of his 15 appearances and allowed 3 earned runs or less in 13 of his 15 appearances. Slider that just misses the zone for ball 4. As Cliff Goldie will head down to first base with a 5-pitch walk. As the catcher and Julian Rodriguez will come up to bat as he has 1 of the 3 base hits in today's game so far for the Gameday Angels.
And he's 1 for 2 on the day so far. Is that single you mentioned that he had in the 2nd inning. He was able to get to second base, but was stranded for the rest of that inning. And then he was the 2nd out of the 4th inning on a 0-1 count, flew out to center field to Trent Baker.
Rodriguez has also had a good day behind the dish as well. He's thrown out 2 Larks base runners in a lineup that is very speedy. He's down the count, 0-2 here to Dalton Campbell. Reed playing near second base, swung on a miss, strike 3, Campbell number 7.
And I forgot to mention this a little bit ago. He's now broken 2 personal records this season for the Larks. For strikeouts, like you just said, he now has 7 so far on the day, and has now thrown 90 pitches so far in this game, breaking his previous of 82 in that first game against in the Colorado series.
As I believe I said Lembeck earlier, so yeah, that's right. Camel, who is dealing right now. He's thrown a lot of pitches, the most we've seen this year out of a Hayes Lark. This faces off against Owen Best, the DH, lefty versus lefty. Pickoff throw, back in time safely is Goldie. Throw down from Russell, back in time safely is Goldie. Little look around the Rocky Mountain Baseball League as on Wednesday the Larks are able to sweep the Western Nebraska Pioneers in that 7-inning doubleheader. While the Dodge City A's, they got a victory against the Colorado Rough Riders, the final score of 8-4 on the road too. And then the Gameday Angels, who faced off against the Denver Cougars on the road, they also got themselves a 9-3 victory. Only other conference games going on today is the Rough Riders versus the Foxes. That's set for 6:35. That one's already underway. And then 7 o'clock start time, as that one's underway as well. The Denver Cougars as they face off against the Liberal BJs. 2 balls, 1 strike here for Dalton Camel against Owen Best. A little pause on the mound, and that will be outside. As I guess that was ball 4. So heading down to first base is Best, and advancing to second is Cliff Goldie. Now the other Goldie up to bat, and Peter Goldie. Cliff over at second. Best over at first.
And now Frank Leo having a conversation with the umpire.
More than likely about the pitch count, as on both our live scoreboard and the game scoreboard, it was both 2 balls and 1 strike. Umpires will talk things over. That's a really smart strategy, though. I mean, you just pretend the scoreboard's wrong and then head down to first. Well, we're going to have to go back and watch the film and see if that's right. Frank Leo, who is back in action today, he's back in town. He will have his first words with the umpire this season, talk things over with the pitch count miscommunication. As they will rule it ball 4. Unfortunately, they won't let us do replays up here, as we do record it, but they will not go to us up here, as Keith Harper will come out, and that will be the end of the ride for Dalton Campbell. New pitcher coming into the ball game here with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. new pitcher to the ball game, and Adrian Najjar, as he'll come out of the pen in relief for Dalton Campbell, who had a solid day on the mound.
Yeah, you got to give a lot of credit to Campbell after throwing 96 pitches in 5.2 innings and only allowing 3 hits. And the most notable stat for him, 7 strikeouts in this game, which was actually what he came in with on the season through 2 games.
Solid stuff. Only allowed that 1 run and only 3 base hits as guys get on against him, but he does so well with runners in scoring position. You got to give it to where credit's due, as first pitch from Najjar fouled off by the batter in Peter Goldie.
And this is our second time seeing Najjar in second time in the last 3 games for him. He pitched 3 innings in the first game of the Western Nebraska doubleheader, only allowing 4 hits and also getting 4 strikeouts on 44 pitches.
Freshman right-handed thrower out of Navarro Community College. Grew up in DeSoto, Texas. His next pitch fouled out of play. Count moves to 0-2. The fans go wild on that foul ball. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that was going from someone's car behind us that they knew or what, but got a good reaction from the crowd on that one.
Yeah, and it was actually pretty low. I'd be surprised if it even got to the streets/parking lot.
It's Najjar ahead in the count, 0-2 here against the batter and Peter Goldie, as this will hit him and load the bases here with 2 away.
The second baseman, number 31.
9-hole batter and Cale Portner up to bat now.
1 for 2 on the day for him after having a fly out in foul territory in right field in the second inning and getting a single in the 5th inning where he'd get to third base but be stranded there after 2 outs would follow him.
First pitch foul back and out of play into the pool behind us. Cale Portner, who attended CSUP College, junior year for him. A lot of NJC, UCCS, and CSUPs on the roster for the Game Day Angels. The most notable school I would say on here is probably St. John's University and University of Mary. This will be popped up. This has a chance to stay in play, but the wind will more likely take it out of play, and it will. As count moves to 1-2. Larks just need 1 out to send us to the bottom of the 6th. This one swung on a miss, strike 3. Najjar leaves the bases loaded with a big punch out with 2 outs. As a good time for a strikeout to come up at that time. As we'll head to the bottom of the 6th. The Larks still trail by 1. Top of the order now, Trent Baker to get us going here in the bottom of the 6th. Larks still trail by 1. Noah Soper back to the mound. Right-handed thrower, sophomore year for him. NJC College is where he attends. Having a solid day on the mound, has been able to quiet the Larks' bats. The Larks look to get things going. This will be the 3rd time through the order.
You have to wonder how much time Soper has left in this game, as he's pitched 60 or now 70 pitches thrown so far, and I can see now another NJC pitcher warming up in the bullpen for them, and that's the right-hander Marcus Morgan.
He's only allowed 2 base hits so far on the mound today, as this one will miss up high. Baker ahead 2-1. Baker's had 3 multi-hit games so far in his 7 games played. This will be his 8th on the season. Made his 30th at-bat on the year. And his first at-bat on the day. This will run up and in near the head, as he'll duck out of the way, or run out of the way in time, as count moves to 3-1. Trent Baker, who will be attending Lamar University next year. This one up high in the zone near the letters for ball 4. Tying run on first yet again here with no outs to the leadoff batter for the Larks.
And it's just the 3rd time Trent Baker has been walked this year. And now we'll see if this might be the end of the day for Noah Soper.
This very much might be, as his pitch count's getting up there, and 3rd time round through the order. I mean, it's shown statistically that when the batting order goes around for the 3rd time, the average increases by almost 50 points, as they will not make the change here, and they're going to leave it up to Noah Soper to try to get 3 outs. Tying run at first, and Trent Baker, he extends his on-base streak to 4 games in a row with that walk. It's now Caden Ashton up to bat, who's had himself a good day at the plate.
He's gotten 2 singles today, and with Noah Soper still pitching, I think it's the right move, because it's an area that the Angels have struggled in so far this year. Try to save some guys for the other 2 games in this series, and Noah Soper's been doing a good job so far.
Ashton will lay a bunt down, but will pop back into the netting in front of us. The only 2 base hits of the ball game so far have came from Caden Ashton's bat for the Hayes Larks. With Baker at first, possible steal threat, 2 on the year. Shows bunt again, pops this one up, but out of reach of Rodriguez. He'll just watch that one go into the net behind him. Count moves to 0-2. Infield will move back to their respective positions as they were in bunt defense. The 0-2 from Ashton, or to Ashton, as that's down low, good eye. Count moves to 1-2. Head coach and Mike Coons, who made the mound visit there, as this one pick-off attempt, not in time. Angels just looking to get a double play with the speedy threat in Trent Baker. And on the move to second is Trent, as swinging at this one is Ashton. Will stay in play, and Baker, who's already at second, will unable to get back in time, as that will be a double play. As 2 outs recorded now here in the bottom of the 6th.
The left fielder, number 22, Garrett Gruel.
And that's the only, bad part about with 2 strikes, I mean he's got to put the ball in play, but sometimes it just doesn't go the way it goes, as you get under 1 and not able to get back in time.
Yeah, and with Trent Baker deciding to go there, the Larks trying to build some momentum and get some more guys in scoring position. It's just a tough situation to be in. As you saw, Trent Baker didn't even try to make it back.
Well, he would have stole second with ease. He was almost there once the ball was put into play. So it's already going to be hard enough to get back there as Gruel will send this one out to right center, but the right fielder will make the catch for out number 3 as the Larks only have 3 batters come up here in the bottom of the 6th as they still trail by 1 as we'll head to the top of the 7th. Top of the batting order now for the Angels as they will send Grant Biggins up to bat for his 4th time today as Adrian Najjar back to the mound for his 2nd inning of work.
Biggins so far 0 for 2 on the day for him after striking out on his first 2 at-bats, but got on in the 5th inning through an E6 error. And then we would get out on a 6th or on a 6-3 play.
It's 2-0 count now here to Biggins. Fouled out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike as the first strike here to Biggins comes via the foul ball. Another good showing from the Larks fans tonight. Friday night baseball here in Hays, Kansas. Some more clouds have moved in, but shouldn't be any chance of rain tonight. Fingers crossed on that one. Wind is still up there. Last I checked, it was around 17, 18 mile per hour wind, blowing from right field into the Larks dugout over at the third base side. This one fouled back. This count moves to 2-2.
Right now we're at the perfect weather part of the night at 84 degrees. With the clouds coming in to give shade, the only downside is we're at 50+% humidity at the moment.
The 2-2 from Najjar. Good location. Strike 3. Caught looking as Najjar will get back-to-back punch-outs coming from last half inning. As first out coming here in the top of the 7th.
That's the 6th strikeout now on the year for Adrian Najjar.
The Angels have struck out 9 times today, and combining Camel and Najjar. His first pitch here to Hodges will find the zone as Najjar gets ahead in the count.
Hodges so far in this game, another player for the Angels that's 0 for 2 on the day, but did get on in the first inning through a 3-1 walk. But in the 3rd inning, had a ground out to the shortstop, so a 6-3 play there. And then in the 5th inning, had that line out to Tabor Stokes at shortstop, which was actually the way Grant Biggins got out, as he was able to throw it back to first base for the double play.
It's Najjar ahead in the count again, 1-2 here against Van Hodges. The next one upstairs for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Angels who have not gotten a hit since, looks like, the 5th inning. They got 2 runners on last inning thanks to a walk and a hit by pitch. 2 walks to be exact. It's full count now here for Najjar. He'll fire this one in there and fouled out of play. Staying alive is Hodges. Full count once again. The pitch from Najjar. Swung on a miss. 3 strikeouts in a row for the right-hander. As 2 away here in the top of the 7th. Larks have struck out the Angels now 10 times today. The pitching is doing a solid job.
And both pitchers for the Larks so far in this game have gotten 2 strikeouts in the same inning at least once.
Especially with the top of the order, and this one swung on a miss by the 3 batter in James Harbison. Hard hit ball in his last at bat. Line drive that went right into the glove of Thomas Lissy over at third. Another one fouled. This one fouled back as Najjar ahead 0-2. The 0-2 from Najjar. This one thrown out to left field, and Trent Baker, Garrett Gould run for it. Goes off of the wall. That'll be a base knock to throw in from left field. As putting the brakes on him back to first is James Harbison. As what a throw by Garrett Gould out there from left field to prevent the runner to going to second.
Yeah, I think it was his plan all along. You could see him kind of stop and wait for it to bounce off the wall, and was able to just make a quick throw to second base and leave Harbison stranded at first base.
Great defensive play by Garrett Gould. Gould's out in left, Baker's in center, Espinal out in right. Outfield positioning changing up a bit here for game 1 against the Angels. First pitch here to the cleanup batter, and Brady Ingles a run inside. Third base coach and Mike Coons, first base coach and Jaden Smith. As this one half-hearted swing, he went around. Yes, he did. 1 ball, 1 strike. Najjar just needs 1 out to send us into the 7th inning stretch. Inside pitch finds the zone as Najjar once again 2 strikes.
He's already gotten 3 strikeouts today, and the batter he's facing, Brady Ingles, has already struck out 2 times tonight.
Ball takes Russell out of the zone a bit as count moves to 2-2. Yeah, Ingles doesn't want the hat trick. As you said, already 2 punch-outs on the day. The 2-2 once again. This one hits the left side, but will go foul as Lissy gloves it down.
Another thing Ingles is trying to avoid, in the 1st and 3rd inning, he was the final out, and there's already 2 outs so far.
Force at first and second. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 1 runner on for the Angels. This one swung on a miss as Najjar gets pumped up with his 3rd punch out of the inning. As that will end the half inning, will send us into the 7th inning stretch. New pitcher coming into the ball game, left-handed pitcher, and Ethan Witzel, senior out of Augustana College.
And that's another pitcher stat-wise that we're seeing for the first time this year.
So Wilbert Espinal will get us started here in the bottom of the 7th. We hope you enjoyed that 7th inning stretch. Larks down by 1. Larks pitching has been doing the job tonight. The Bats looking to get things going and try to tie this one up and possibly more. They're only down by 1. They're not out of it. A rally could change everything. This next pitch to Espinal, ruled a strike, 1-1 count. Here to the cleanup batter and right fielder.
And that's going to be the key for the Larks. They just need to stay calm. They've been able to work their bats really well over these last few games, and the pitching is continuing to do their thing. So they just got to stay calm and kind of let the game come to them and pull away when they have to.
2-1 count now here to Wilbert Espinal. 346 batting average on the year coming into this one. So he'll throw this one to the shortstop. One hop to the shortstop, and Hodges will fire to first in time for the first out. So coming into the ball game is Ethan Witzel, gets his first out on the day, filling in for Noah Soper, who went 6 innings of work, as now it brings up the 8th Street Liquor batter and Houston Russell. First pitch from the left-handed dealer outside Houston Russell. Let's put the ball in play in both at-bats today. Little hanger that finds its way into the zone for the first strike.
And that's been the thing with the Larks this entire game. They've been able to make contact with the ball and put it in play, but the fielding from the Angels have just been able to slow it down all game.
Especially with the wind condition today, a lot of the fly balls on a regular day would get down for a base hit, but the wind just keeping it up there in the air, and you got to give it to the Angels to be able to make that defensive play, as it's not an easy one with the wind, as that one's outside as well. 3-1 count here to Houston Russell.
Especially for the outfielders as well. Like, as you can see the flags over in left field. It's blowing from right field to left field. The ball can instantly change directions.
The 3-1 to Russell. He'll get under this one, send it high into left field. But the left fielder and Biggins doesn't have to move too much, as he'll go right into the glove for the second out. Two away as we head to the 6th batter, and Gage Gilchrist, the first baseman.
He's already gotten on once tonight after walking at the start of the 5th inning on a full count.
Bentienis over at the first base side, Andy Luton at third. First pitch just missing the zone. Good eye by Gilchrist. Duo count now here to Gage Gilchrist. Played at Murray State Community College this year. Will be going to Central Oklahoma for his junior season. Left-handed batter, right-handed thrower. Gage Gilchrist, who actually had a 6 RBI performance this year from Murray State Community College. That one will find the zone. First strike of the at-bat here to Gilchrist. Actually had 2 6 RBI games this year for the Aggies. The 3-1 pitch. Down low, good eye by Gilchrist, as a runner will get on with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th, and the man in Gage Gilchrist, as now that brings up the shortstop in Tabor Stokes.
So we'll see if the Larks can get a little two-out rally going right here. Tabor Stokes has already gotten on once today through a walk on 4 straight balls in the second inning.
Second baseman playing near the second base bag. This one will get out of play. Left fielder for the Angels near the warning track out in left field. Center fielder playing a bit back as well. Right fielder in about the right spot. Shortstop playing on the edge of the grass over at the shortstop side. This one also found out of play. 0-2 count now here to Tabor Stokes. Nine base hits on the year for Stokes. His 9th game played. Extended his on-base streak to 5 games in a row after getting that walk back in the second. The 0-2 swung on a miss, strike 3, and that will end the 7th inning. Larks get a runner on, but we'll leave him there as we'll head to the 8th inning as the Larks down by 1. Adrian Najjar back to the mound as he's gone an inning and a third so far. As he'll face off against Cliff Goldie, Julian Rodriguez, and Owen Best all in this half inning. His first pitch ruled a ball. Shout out to Emily Stenzel at Stenzel Film for taking those amazing photos, as we'll update those throughout the season as she takes some of the best photos here in Hayes. 1-1 count now here to the batter and Cliff Goldie.
He's gotten on 2 times today through walks, and in both of those he was able to get to third base but would remain stranded, and his only out was a fly out to Trent Baker in center field, which was the first out of the 4th inning.
This one a big swing and swung on and miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Only faced 4 batters last half inning. All outs coming via strikeout. It's a 2-2. This one fouled off and staying alive is Cliff Goldie.
That's been the key for the Larks staying in this game so far. The pitching has been doing an amazing job so far. 11 strikeouts combined between Dalton Campbell and Adrian Najjar. Just trying to shut down Gameday, and then...
And another punch out here. Caught looking as 5th punch out of the day for Adrian Najjar. And first out recorded here in the top of the 8th. His second looking on the day, too.
Yeah, and like I was saying, that's been the key for the Larks in this game. Just let the pitching kind of slow the tempo down for Gameday so they don't build momentum. And it's been able to keep the Larks in this game as it's only just a one-run difference here in the top of the 8th inning.
First pitch finds his own here to Julian Rodriguez. All of the outs so far for Adrian Najjar have been strikeouts. Taking command as this one goes behind Rodriguez.
That's kind of been what Najjar's been known for this season. Came into this game pitching 5 innings and getting 5 strikeouts in each of those, and just through almost 2 innings now, he's gotten 5 strikeouts already.
This one put into play, and the possibility of the first out being not a strikeout for Najjar will go away as bad throw will go to the dugout. The throw from Houston Russell to second base. 9-time, but sliding off the bag is Rodriguez, and applying the tag is Tabor Stokes. The Larks catch a break after the E3, and they'll still get the second out.
And a great rebound play there by Najjar. The ball got past him, but he was able to collect himself again and get the second out of the inning.
Larks catch a break, and now that brings us to Owen Best, the DH.
0 for 2 on the day for him as well, striking out, swinging on his first 2 at-bats, but walked in the 6th inning and would make it to second base before the inning came to a close on that final strikeout in the 6th inning to Cale Porter.
Najjar is pumped up. You can just tell by his emotion on the mound when he throws and then goes back to the rubber. Just gets back into the mode and just locked in right now. 1-run game. This is where young athletes are made. I mean, really builds character and puts the guys in a tough spot, keeping their guys in the ball game. And Najjar's doing a good job right now as he got 2 away here in the top of the 8th. The 2-1 from Najjar. This one just a hair low, the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike. A 3-1 from Najjar. Put into play in a shallow left center field. Running in is Baker, but that'll get down for a base hit. As the inning will continue here with 2 outs. So far, no extra base hits today from the Angels. None for the Larks as well. But you got to give it to the Larks pitching, as we've been talking about all game. I mean, they're not allowing runners to get to second on base hits. And when they do make it past second, the Larks have still been able to deal with them in scoring position.
Yeah, all night it's just been a battle of fielding. Larks have been able to shut down the Angels with their pitching. And for game day, their fielding has been able to stop the Larks from putting runs on the board.
His first pitch strike from Najjar. Runner at first and Best. The 0-1 outside. Count moves to 1 even. The funny thing is about Adrian Najjar is that he didn't even pitch in the 2024 season at Navarro Community College, and this was his freshman year. And some of the stuff we're seeing out of him in his first couple outings have been really impressive. Count moves to 2-1. Here we're 2 away. Peter Goldie, the batter. Best over at first. Ground ball just going foul near the third base line as the at-bat will continue here with a 2-2 count. Thank you guys for tuning in here on the Larks Network. We appreciate all your support and supporting your Hayes Larks. Also, a shout out to all of our streaming sponsors for this season. We appreciate your guys' help in working with the Hayes Larks organization. Next pitch swung on and missed. Najjar just likes to punch out people as he gets another one. 2 here in the top of the 8th as we'll go to the bottom part of it as the Larks still trail by 1. But Thomas Lissy, C.J. Reed, and Trent Baker all due up. We'll have a pinch hitter come into the ball game, and Will Carpenter, and a new pitcher into the ball game for the Angels. That man being Hunter Beindorf, right-handed pitcher, kind of a sidearm pitcher out of Tufts University his senior season. So face off against the number 25 and Will Carpenter. Shows bunt, pulls back, but he'll find the zone for a strike.
This will be the third game of the year Beindorf has played in, has only pitched 4 innings so far, and has given up 3 hits, and has gotten a strikeout as well, and held his opponents to a batting average of 200.
1 ball, 1 strike here in the bottom of the 8th. Larks trail by 1. The Angels have gotten 5 base hits today. Larks only 2. Few errors made on both sides today. Well, Carpenter did appear in the Pioneers series on Wednesday. Good eye from Carpenter as that just misses the zone. 3-1 count now.
And Carpenter did really well in that first game. It says he went 1 for 1, but he also got on through 2 walks and reaching on an error, and had a run of his own, but also had 3 RBIs to go with it.
Speaking of walks, there's one here as the tying run is now at first with no outs. C.J. Reed will come up to bat, and we'll have a mound visit already coming from the head coach and Mike Coons. I mean, what do you think they're talking over right now? I mean, what's the approach here to C.J. Reed?
I mean, kind of just another thing with a mound meeting when you're the road team is kind of trying to kill the momentum of the crowd and your opponent, and just meet with him now, try to get everything settled out. The previous pitchers for game day have pitched really well, and now with Beindorf facing his first batter of the game, he's already gotten 1 on, so just kind of calm him down and see what he does here.
And not only that, I mean, the Larks have shown tonight they're willing to lay down some bunts and stuff, and with the 9-hole batter and C.J. Reed, third baseman already, and Peter Goldie looks like he's expecting a bunt, so I wonder if that was another thing they talked about.
And we've seen the Larks do that a few times this year.
As showing bunt here, but unable to lay it down, and that will be ruled a strike. Carpenter over at first. He's the tying run. Shows bunt again. This one will go foul, though, as now it's an 0-2 count, and C.J. Reed will swing away. Freshman year for C.J. Reed, who attended Butler County Community College, listed as an outfielder and infielder. Hometown in Colorado Springs, Colorado, where the Larks will actually play a few games down there later this season, as he hits us to the right side through the diving second baseman Porter into right field as C.J. Reed, the 9-hole batter, comes up big in an 0-2 count.
And that'll now return the Larks to the top of the order with Trent Baker.
Right time as runners at first and second, tying run at second, go ahead run at first.
Trent Baker already has 6 RBIs this year and now has a runner in scoring position, and he's already gotten on once tonight through a walk in the 6th inning.
Larks had some late game magic in Wednesday's game against the Pioneers. Well, maybe they can get some here as they trail by 1 here in the bottom of the 8th. Corners are in against Trent Baker, the top of the order hitter, as goes around for bunt but doesn't even show it, as they'll find the zone for a strike.
And it's another scenario for the Larks where you're down by 1 and trying to pull away at the end. They were able to do that in the 5th inning of the 2nd game of the doubleheader, as they were able to get Caleb Duncan home in the 5th inning.
Shows bunt again, but it goes foul, as once again 0-2 count after a Lark showing bunt.
And now would be the time to do that. Got a runner at second, get him to third, and there's no outs right now.
Hunter Beindorf still on the mound. Force at any bag, first, second, and third. 0-2 count, no outs. The pitch to Baker. This one put in play to the left side. Shortstop will field it. Throw it to second for one. On to first. Called safe as Baker legs it out. As a tying run 90 feet away at third. Go ahead run at first now here with one out.
That'll bring up Caden Ashton, who has gotten two base hits so far in this game. In the first inning, where he was able to get to third after a pass ball, where he advanced 2 bases, and in the fourth inning, he was able to get a base hit on a 2-2 count.
Ashton, who's had a good day, as you said, can come up big here and put the Larks on the board. A fly ball is really all you need right now. With the wind blowing, though, it's got to be a hard hit fly ball out into the outfield. Even a ground ball to the left side, I mean, would help. On the move to second is Baker. The throw down, no throw, pump fake, and Baker will slide in a second with a stolen base. As the go-ahead run is at second now. Carpenter still at third. Easy tying run. As now all Ashton has to do is put the ball in play. The infield will move in a bit, as they'll be going to home here in the bottom of the 8th with one out. They're up by 1.
And it was the right idea there by the catcher to concede the throw of Trent Baker getting to second on the stolen base, because you don't want to risk the possibility if you're the Angels of Will Carpenter getting home from third on the throw.
That one outside but called a strike. 2-1 count now. Here with one out. Ashton will call time. The right base runners, too, for this spot, and Will Carpenter and Trent Baker, both guys who have the speed capability of scoring on even just a simple ground ball. This one runs in. Ashton ahead 3-1. I like what the Angels are doing on the throwback to the mound. Shortstop and Hodges, he'll come behind the pitcher to make sure the throw doesn't go past the pitcher in Beindorf. The 3-1 pitch to Ashton. This one inside zone, called a strike. Full count now, one out. So Larks look to Caden Ashton to come up big and try to tie this game up and possibly more. Carpenter at third, Baker at second. Infield still playing in. The 3-2 outside ball 4, and Ashton will head down to first base as bases are loaded for the RBI machine in Garrett Gruhl.
And we saw that in the last game against Western Nebraska as well. In that game where he went 3 for 4, he picked up 2 RBIs on the night.
Rodriguez will go to the mound, talk things over. Got to be careful, as you said. I mean, Garrett Gruhl up to bat. One of the top hitters on the ball club for the Larks this year, that 458 average. 9 RBIs to go with it. And he's flown out in all 3 of his at-bats today. So, I mean, that's all you really need here is just a fly ball into the outfield. Carpenter tags. Baker can try to tag. See if they can tie this game up for heading to the 9th.
It'll be interesting to see where he put it, because all 3 of those flyouts have been to different outfielders.
First pitch to Gruhl will find the zone. For Hunter Beindorf, this is a lot of pressure on him right now. The nerves got to be kicking in a bit. Bases loaded, still one out. So he'll rip this one that goes foul, though. Garrett Gruhl, who's had 7 RBIs over his last 3 games, has 3 multi-RBI games on the year. Good eye from Gruhl with the 0-2 pitch. 1-2 count now.
And that's another problem for for the Angels is that you're going up against the leader in the RBI category for the Larks with 9 so far entering this game.
This one sent out to left field on a drive, deep into left field at the track and near the wall, but caught by the left fielder at Biggins. But it does the job. Sac fly RBI for Garrett Gruhl. The throw almost gets away, and advancing to second and third is Baker and Ashton. And the Larks tie it up in the bottom of the 8th.
And that's what we were talking about. That's all Garrett Gruhl had to do. He had 3 previous flyouts into the outfield, and he does it again. And this time it brings a run home.
Almost leaving the yard. On a normal day, that ball gets out of here, but he does the job, and the Larks tie it up thanks to Garrett Gruhl. And now the hero from Wednesday's game. Can he be a hero once again tonight? It's a base hit, can score 1, possibly 2. First pitch, he'll send out to left center field, similar to the at-bat from the other day, but this will go to the left fielder, and making the snag is Biggins for the final out. The Larks able to get a run on the board and tie it up 1 apiece as we head to the 9th inning, all tied up. Upcoming schedule for this weekend series against the Game Day Angels, 7 o'clock start time for all game. Larkstoberfest tomorrow starting at 6 o'clock. They'll have food, beverages, and all that stuff before the game starting at 7. Also, they're giving out to the first 200 fans. They'll receive a Larks stain for free and a $1 coupon for the concession stands. As the 9th we go, and a new pitcher for the Larks and Aiden Schmigel, who will come out of the bullpen in a big spot here as he'll face off against 9-1-2.
And it's the same pitching rotation for the Larks that we saw in that first game of the doubleheader, where you have your starting pitcher, then Adrian Najjar, and then Aiden Schmidgall. And for the Larks, they're hoping that it's the exact same way, where you have the 2 guys before Aiden Schmidgall, and then he pitches the final inning as the Larks win it right away.
2 pitch swung on and missed. Schmidgall with the punch out to start his night out. The Larks have been striking out the Angels at an alarming rate tonight.
Yeah, that's now 14 on the night.
Yeah, Campbell had 7, and then Najjar, who had, looks like 6, it looks like, and add another one to it.
And that'll now bring up Grant Biggins, who's been struck out 3 times tonight.
top of the order hitter, as first pitch misses the zone. Schmidl, in his last time on the mound, only threw 4 pitches. Came late into the ball game and just got all the outs he needed. First strike of the at-bat here to Biggins, his 5th on the day. This one found out of play. Schmidl ahead in the count 1-2. Schmidl just trying to send this one to the bottom of the 9th and see if the Larks can get another walk-off victory here at Larks Park. The 1-2 from Schmidl. Putting a play to the right side. Gilchrist will field it and take it to first himself. A race to the bag, but Gilchrist beats him there in time for the second out. So now that brings up Van Hodges, the shortstop.
Was the top hitter for the Angels entering this game, but so far tonight is 0 for 3, only getting on through a walk at the start of the game in the first inning. But since then, he's had a 6-3 play in the 3rd inning, a line drive out to the shortstop Stokes in the 5th inning, and then a full count strikeout in the 7th inning.
First pitch pops up, will get out of play over near the kids over there, and hopefully everyone's okay. Another one fouled out of play and ripped over by the kids once again. 0-2 count now in Schmidl's favor. The 0-2 from Schmidl. This one swung on and missed as Schmidl is hyped up. And so should you guys be, as the Larks are heading to the bottom of the 9th in an all-tie ball game at 1 apiece here at Larks Park. Bottom of the 9th, Keith Harper runs over to the fans and gets them on their feet. As Houston Russell to lead us off. There's a beach ball in the stands that I just saw go past the press box. As Larks fans are hyped up here in Hayes America, as they'll face off on the mound once again against Hunter Beindorf. As first pitch, Houston Russell finds the outside corner for the first strike of the at-bat. Russell, Gilchrist, and Stokes all due up here in the bottom of the 9th. Runs in on Russell, almost clipped him. Russell, who was taking all the way there. So he might have called time just in the nick of time. Larks fans clapping it up here at Larks Park as it's the bottom of the ninth. Exciting times, back-to-back games where we have a tie ball game heading into the later innings. Russell throws one out to right field. Running in a bit is the right fielder, though, and Goldie. But that's going to get down. The wind takes it away, and Houston Russell, the 8th Street Liquor batter, gets a base hit in the bottom of the ninth, and the winning run is at first.
And that's been a struggle for the outfield all night tonight, but that time it was able to push it a little bit. You saw Goldie kind of slow down a little bit and then sprint at the last second when he realized he wasn't under it.
And we'll have a pinch runner and Caleb Duncan take over for Houston Russell at first as Gage Gilchrist will come up to bat here with the winning run on base and nobody out. Russell gets a nice ovation for a job well done.
The first baseman, Gage Gilchrist.
On a normal non-windy day, that ball probably could have traveled a bit more. I don't know if it would have gone out, but it would have gone a lot farther. But nonetheless, a base hit for Russell. Gilchrist shows bunt, pulls back, but called strike on the outside corner.
And Gilchrist will look to make this the third at bat in a row where he gets on. The previous two were through walks.
One of the most patient hitters on the team. The Larks still trying to get a bunt down. This one, good eye by Gilchrist, pulled it back just in time. Count moves to 1 even. Six walks on the year now for Gilchrist after 2 today. Second base moving over to the first base side. Laying the bunt down is Gilchrist, but it goes foul as count moves to 1 and 2. The third baseman and Goldie was well in, as even if that bunt got down, they might have had a chance at second, so that might have worked in the Larks' favor, as now Gilchrist faced with a 1-2 count here against Beindorf. This one down low and gets away from the catcher. The throw down to second. Duncan was on the move. If he keeps his foot on the bag, he's safe. He's safe. Duncan moves into scoring position. The pinch runner is now at second base here with no outs.
And he was able to time it right, and you got to give him credit. He kind of kept his body flat as he slid down, and he was able to stay on base with his feet.
What a baseball atmosphere this is. The crowd is into it, and the Larks are trying to find a way to get a victory here today. Gilchrist into left field. This one has a chance to go over his head. It does! Over the head of the left fielder. Being waved home is Caleb Duncan to throw in. This is going to be a close play. The throw in, not in time. Walk-off double for Gage Gilchrist. The Larks storm the field in back-to-back nights.
And that's 2 walk-offs in a row for the Larks as Nick Helgett will head down to the field for our post-game interview with our players of the game. He'll talk with Adrian Najjar for his performance of 6 strikeouts in 2 and a third innings, as well as Gage Gilchrist as he just hit the second walk-off in a row for the Hayes Larks. As we look back at that game, it's the second game in a row as well where the Larks had to really fight for the win, and give a lot of credit to their pitching as well in that game, as Dalton Campbell started it off getting 5 2/3 of an inning where he got 7 strikeouts on 96 pitches, which that's a new high for him as well. And we'll wait for Nick Helgett to get down to the field looking at other numbers for the Larks in this game. At the pitching side of things, Adrian Najjar only pitched 2 innings but came just 1 strikeout short of tying Dalton Campbell on 47 pitches. He got 6 strikeouts in that game. And then Aiden Schmidgall would come in for 1 inning and get 2 strikeouts on 10 pitches. So we see the Larks basically to do the same thing that they did in the last game, where they got a walk-off win and have the same pitching rotation where they had a starting pitcher, and then Adrian Najjar came into the game and Aiden Schmidgall pitched 1 inning, and then that's where the walk-off would follow. So now Nick Helgett's down on the field, and we'll throw it to him now.
Thank you, Ken. I'm here with Adrian Najjar. What a performance by all the Larks pitchers tonight. 15 combined strikeouts, 6 for you. What was going right for you on the mound?
I was really just getting down the mound, like our coach says, and it's really just our pitching coach. He really knows what he's talking about, and he really helps us.
And then what do you got to say about the other pitchers tonight that performed before and after you?
Oh, all around great guys, and they know what they're doing. That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
Awesome. Thank you, Adrian. Gage. Back-to-back walk-off victories for the Larks, this time coming from Gage. What was it like rounding the bases and throwing that ball in the left field?
Man, I was just hoping it went over his head.
Classic. Oh, shit. I mean, you guys are on a roll right now, back-to-back walk-off wins. What's going right in the dugout?
One more time, sorry.
What's going right for you guys in the dugout as a team and everything?
We've really came together over this summer, and we're just looking to keep grinding it out and just put it on for you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Gage. Back to you, Ken.
Great job. So that was Nick Helgett with our post-game player interview with our walk-off player Gage Gilchrist and our pitcher of the game Adrian Najjar. And when Nick comes back up here, we'll have our post-game show. So we'll be back in a moment on the Larks Network.
All right.
Shake a bit.
Larks pull away with a walk-off victory, back-to-back games, and the Larks are really storming now. Another walk-off victory, this time coming from the bat of Gage Gilchrist, 2 former Murray State Community College guys. Well, 1 former and 1 still current, but 2 guys that went to Murray State come up big in back-to-back games for the Larks. What we got to say, I mean, let's start with the pitching first. Pitching tonight was phenomenal for the Larks.
Yeah, it's what kept the Larks in it through the entire game as the bats sort of tried to warm up throughout the game. You had Dalton Campbell coming in right away, throwing a team-high 96 pitches and getting a team-high 7 strikeouts in a game. And then after that, Adrian Najjar did a great job backing up. And like you said, we didn't see much of him from college experience, but he came in right away this season and has shut down the batters he's faced. He had, I believe, 5 strikeouts entering this game and got 6 strikeouts tonight on 47 pitches. And Aiden Schmidgall, for the 2nd time in a row, finishes out the pitching, and the Larks get a walk-off win.
Pitching tonight stood out. It did the job. Even when the bats went quiet tonight, the pitching steps up and does it again. I mean, the way they've been throwing this year has been incredible. I'm loving it. I'm sure you're loving it too. Larks fans, you guys got to love it. But the bats tonight, it took a bit, but they finally came up. On the 8th, they tied it up thanks to a Garrett Grill sac fly RBI. And then to end it in the bottom of the 9th, Gage Gilchrist. Oh my gosh, can't talk right now. I'm so excited after the game. Gage Gilchrist walk-off RBI double to win it in the 9th. An exciting day of baseball. Also, shout out to Caleb Duncan for coming in to pinch run. I mean, he stole second, and then that throw at the home plate, a good throw. I mean, it might have been close, but Duncan's speed, he was able to get there in time and score the last run and win this ball game. Exciting times, exciting night. What else we got to say about what to see in this series?
Yeah, I talked about it on the pregame show. The Larks, it'll be interesting to see how they control their destiny as they're the #1 team in the standings right now, and especially going into the final 2 games before they go on that long road trip where they won't return to Larks Park until the 4th of July.
Yeah, these last few home games from before that game is going to be very crucial. But the big thing tonight, that going to Game 2 that we now know, the Game Day Angels came to compete. They're right there with the Larks. They almost had a chance to win it tonight, which means tomorrow night will be even more interesting because they were saving some guys for these next 2 games. So thank you guys for tuning in to the Larks Network. We'll have a great game tomorrow night as the Larks win this in walk-off fashion thanks to Gage Gilchrist. Thank you guys for watching. Wish you all a great night. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.